I always believed I had a strong marriage. We met when I was 22, and after years of shared dreams and a beautiful family, I was sure we had built something lasting. He was my rock, the man who understood me better than anyone else. We had our share of disagreements, of course, what couple doesn't? But it felt like we were a team, facing life's ups and downs together. That was until I found out about him. The foreign man my husband had been talking about. It all started innocently enough, small talk about his travels, his job, and his acquaintances. He had always been the kind of man who was gregarious, outgoing, someone who never shied away from making new connections. But one evening, I noticed something different. The smile he wore as he spoke about his latest trip to Dubai, the glimmer in his eyes, the way he downplayed his connection with this new friend. It wasn't just a passing interaction. I had always trusted him, but something felt off. One evening, while he was in the shower, I went through his phone. I didn't expect to find much, just a few work emails, some random messages from friends. Instead, I found dozens of messages from a woman named Amira. From what I could gather, she wasn't just anyone. She had been the catalyst for his latest business trip to the Middle East. But it wasn't just business. They were intimate emotionally and physically. What devastated me the most was not just the affair itself, but the raw emotion I felt reading through their conversations. He had spoken of her like he had spoken to me when we first met. She had become his confidante, the one he turned to when things in his life felt overwhelming. And to my horror, I saw that her tool, the one he referred to repeatedly, was not just something physical. It was the emotional connection that seemed to awaken parts of him that I had lost over the years. I confronted him that night, but the words I had rehearsed in my head didn't come out the way I wanted. I screamed, cried, asked questions that I didn't even want the answers to. Why her? Why Amira? But what hurt the most was when he told me, almost apologetically, that it wasn't just about the sex. It was about the emotional connection they had. He confessed that over time he had grown distant from me. I had been consumed by work, raising our children. Handling the house life had made me too preoccupied to notice the widening gap between us. He had turned to Amira because she made him feel valued, desired, understood. He didn't know how to tell me that I had become a stranger in his life, and he didn't know how to reconnect with the woman he once married. My heart shattered as he spoke. Every word felt like a betrayal. Each sentence felt like a knife carving into the love I thought we shared. How could he? How could he let her in so deeply while I was here, unaware, drowning in my own obligations? The anger, the shame, the grief, everything collided at once. What followed was a whirlwind of confusion and turmoil. I couldn't let go of the haunting thought of the foreign man's tool, the metaphor he had used to explain how Amira had become his emotional lifeline. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that this wasn't just about sex. It was about intimacy, about the way we had lost the art of truly being there for one another. I had been so caught up in keeping our family intact, in keeping things functional, that I had neglected the deeper needs of our relationship. We went through therapy, trying to repair the damage. I wanted to forgive him, but the emotional wounds were deep. He had given parts of himself to Amira that I couldn't compete with. I spent sleepless nights questioning myself, wondering where I had gone wrong, asking if I could ever feel whole again. I wanted to save our family for our children, but every time I looked at him, I saw the shadow of his affair looming over us. It wasn't easy. There were days when I felt like a stranger to him, days when I hated him for what he had done, and days when I just wanted to walk away and never look back. But there were also moments of tenderness, moments where we tried to rebuild. The hardest part was realizing that the foundation of our relationship was never just about trust, it was about emotional intimacy, the kind that had slowly slipped away between us. In the end, we made the difficult decision to move forward, not because I had fully forgiven him, but because we both realized how fragile love can be when it's neglected. My life was shattered by the affair, but it became the catalyst for growth. I had to learn to trust again, not just him, but myself. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't quick, but I knew I had to rebuild my own identity outside of the betrayal. The foreign man's tool, his emotional connection with another woman, had shattered me. But it also gave me the strength to confront the parts of myself and my marriage that I had long ignored. We both had to face our brokenness and decide whether we were willing to put in the work to heal together, or whether we were simply too far gone,